Obviously, the NBA draft lottery was last night, and the NBA is the only league out of all the sports that do it via ping pong balls. It is literally a lottery. You get the worse you are, the more balls you get, the better chance of you getting the first pick or the higher pick. Which I like some aspects of it because yes, it does kind of defeat the purpose of you can't just tank and get the first overall pick. But as we've seen, there's obviously flaws with that system and quote unquote NBA Illuminati rigging the lottery. What was not rigged was the fact the Celtics got the first pick. They were statistically supposed to get the first pick because Brooklyn is that terrible and they have Brooklyn's pick. So they were supposed to get it. Thank you, Brooklyn. What the Celtics should do, even though I don't think they will do, is play off of desperation. Not their own desperation, but the desperation of an all-time great team that wants to be great again and an up-and-coming team that is learning how to be great. Anytime, there's desperation all the time in sports. You can tell when a team is really like, hey, I need to go get that guy because that guy's going to make my team better. Not knowing what's going to happen. And with the drafts, it's all a crapshoot. It's a really unproven science. It's kind of like the lottery. With that, desperation not just happen in sports. It happens in real life. You know? There's people who every day will get a worse deal because they can afford the worst deal instead of waiting for the better deal. You know, you sit there and you buy groceries, for example, or food. Buying in bulk is the better deal, but you can't always afford to spend the $15, $20 on getting all your sandwich meat, but you can afford the $3 or $4 to get a little bit of sandwich meat, even though it's a worse deal than buying in bulk. Xbox and PlayStation are a great example of this. They'll sell you Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus for $25 for 3 months or $60 for the full year. Of course, the $60 for the full year is the better deal. It's $5 a month. But if you don't have the $60 and you really got to get on Xbox Live tonight, you might get the $25 for 3 months. Or even, I don't know if they still do it. I know Xbox used to have, it was something crazy. It was like $15 for a month. Like, it literally encouraged you to go for the better deal. But desperation makes people choose otherwise. What have we heard the last 5-6 months now? I probably not that long. I'll say last 3-4 months about the NBA draft. Lonzo Ball wanting to go to and the Lakers wanting to get him. LeVar wanting him to be a Laker. Staying in LA. He's born here, raised here, went to UCLA. Just makes all the sense in the world. And for that very reason is why the Celtics should put it on every news station they can. Tell every single person that will listen, that has ears. Tell some deaf people. Celtics want to draft Lonzo Ball. Is he the best fit for their team? Not even kind of. I've heard a couple people talk about, oh, well, he could play with Isaiah Thomas. No. There's far better fits for that team than to get Lonzo Ball. But you absolutely, if you're the Celtics, not only do you tell everyone you take Lonzo Ball, you absolutely take Lonzo Ball number one. Because if you take Lonzo Ball number one, you open up 2 possibilities for your team, which was already the number 1 seed in this year's playoffs and is going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, even though they're probably getting swept. But I'll talk about that a little bit later. If you get Lonzo Ball number 1, you either A, force the Lakers to trade far more than they should to get him, maybe 1 or 2 of their young players and a first-round pick, because, once again, the desperation they've shown over the last few months to get this kid, I really shouldn't say kid, he's like 2 years younger than me, but to get this guy is through the roof. They have not stopped talking about him. And he's 19 years old, has never played a game in the NBA. And, I mean, they've already got him as the second coming of Magic Johnson. Or, if the Lakers aren't willing to put up the ante, if you are the Celtics, you go and you call Minnesota and you say, hey, I got this guy who's not only a better fit for you than he would be the Lakers, he fits a need for you. And you have a player that fits a need for us. If I'm the Celtics, I call Minnesota and I say, Lonzo Ball, give me, or either Lonzo Ball or the right to the first overall pick, give me Zach LaVine and the 7th overall pick. You put Zach LaVine next to Isaiah Thomas, move Avery Bradley to the bench, and then at the 7th overall pick, I'm going to absolutely butcher this name. You get the forward out of Arizona, Lauri Markkanen. He's Finnish, so apologize. I butchered the name. You know, sue me. Sorry, Finland. Like, you get him because he's a 7-footer. He can play in the post. He can stretch 4, which said he could be a stretch 4 or even a stretch 5. He's big enough. He's like 240 pounds. Put him at center. Then you move Al Horford down to power forward. Jay Crowder. Sorry about that. LaVine, and then Bradley, or then Thomas. And if you believe the hype that they're going to get Gordon Hayward, you've now got Thomas, LaVine, Hayward, Horford, and this guy who doesn't even have to come in and put up 15, 20 points a game and grab 9, 10 rebounds. Just be a big presence that Al Horford simply is not in the post, defensively or offensively. The Celtics are the only team that drafted last night that knows they're going to be good next year, they're well run and already in a position of power and can play off the desperation of the Lakers, who are on 4 years of being terrible, the Timberwolves, who are a franchise of terrible. But both teams are desperate. The Celtics are not. The Celtics are the 12-month plan for Xbox Live. The Lakers are the 1-month plan.